Humorous Speech Contest for District 19. We've got a great set of speakers that are going to compete, and I'm just so excited. So we're not even going to waste any time getting forward with this. Matthew Chavers is our contest chair. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Matthew. You can give us whatever instructions there are and proceed with your contest, sir.
Well, thank you, Dave, our voice of the conference. Good evening, most welcome guests and honored dignitaries and fellow Toastmasters. Welcome to the District 19 Humorous Speech Contest for 2021. My name is Matthew Chavers, and I am your contest chair for this evening. So I want to thank you for taking the time to be here to support our contestants in their pursuit of excellence. Earlier, contestants drew lots to determine their speaking order. I'm going to give you that speaking order now. Speaker number 1, Laura Crowfoot. And I will spell those so that the judges have the correct spelling. Laura, L-A-U-R-A, Crowfoot, C-R-O-F as in Frank, U-T-T. Laura Crowfoot, contestant number 1. Contestant number 2, Coy Ortega. Coy, K-O-Y, Ortega, O-R-T-E-G-A. Coy Ortega, contestant number 2. Contestant number 3, Jeff Hanna. Jeff, J-E-F as in Frank, F as in Frank. Hanna, H-A, N as in Nancy, N as in Nancy, A. Jeff Hanna, contestant number 3. Contestant number 4, Sue Smith. Sue, S-U-E, Smith, S-C as in Charlie, H, M as in Mary, I, T as in Tom, T as in Tom. Sue Smith, contestant number 4. For a review of the rules of the Humorous Speech Contest, please welcome Chief Judge Vilma Bergstrom.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Vilma Bergstrom, Chief Judge. As Chief Judge of this contest, I certify that contest personnel and contestants have been fully briefed as to their duties and responsibilities for this contest. At this time, I ask our chief timer to explain the timing procedure and have a final check of the timing backgrounds.
Thank you, Madam Chief Judge. Timing will begin with the contestant's first definite verbal or nonverbal communication with the audience. Speech length is 5 to 7 minutes. A speaker will be disqualified for speaking less than 4 minutes and 30 seconds or more than 7 minutes and 30 seconds. If you look for the timer 2 in the gallery, you will see a green background will be displayed at 5 minutes. The yellow background will be displayed at 6 minutes, and the red background at 7 minutes and will remain on until the speech is completed. No signal will be given when the time exceeds 7.5 minutes. An extra 30 seconds will be allowed if there is a failure in the timing process. The red, yellow, and green cards will replace the timing backgrounds if there is a technical failure. Madam Chief Judge.
Thank you, Chief Timer. There will be 1 minute of silence between contestants for the judges to mark their ballots. Please do not disturb the judges' deliberations and marking of their ballots. Everyone should be on mute with video off during this time. Protests regarding a presenter or speech material are limited to judges and contestants. And I failed to mention also callbacks is an additional ground for protest. And the protest shall be made to the contest chair or to me by texting us. We have given our cell numbers to the judges and contestants, so we are available. And it should be made prior to the announcement of the winners. Contest Chair, we are in order.
Thank you, Chief Judge Bergstrom. As a reminder, please keep your cameras and microphones muted unless you're advised it is okay to turn them on. In addition, please note that the chat feature has been reserved for communication only with the Zoom master, so as not to interfere with the contestants' presentations. Are there any questions? If not, let the contest begin. Contestant number 1, Laura Crowfoot. Please turn on your video and microphone and let us know you are ready.
I am ready, sir.
Contestant number 1, Laura Crowfoot. The ultimate roadblock. The ultimate roadblock, Laura Crowfoot.
Imagine you have just been asked to take a 7-hour trip to deliver your cousin's prized 1975 Cadillac from Springfield, Missouri to Osceola, Iowa. The story that I'm about to tell you is true, for it occurred to a friend of mine, Warren and Patty Johnson. The car in question was Patty's cousin. Mr. Contest Chair, honored dignitaries, fellow Toastmasters, and most importantly, our guests. As Warren and Patty Johnson started their trip from Springfield, Missouri, they saw a road sign. Drive through Animal Safari Park. They both agreed this would be an adventure. Let's go on it. Oh, they had so much fun. Not only did they have fun feeding the animals with their hands out flat, but the ostriches pecking at the windows and didn't even break the cousin's car's windows. But what wasn't so much fun was when, well, the giraffe stuck its head in the sunroof of the cousin's car and took off Warren's toupee. Oh, and of course, the giraffe ran as fast as it could. They finally come to the end of the road. Well, just about the end of the road, for you see, there was a blockage, the ultimate roadblock. An elephant, I kid you not, an elephant was in the middle of the road. Warren couldn't go to the left, he couldn't go to the right. The line behind him of cars was getting longer and longer. He couldn't turn around. Whatever should he do? So he decided to inch closer and closer and closer and closer to the elephant until he was just about to touch the elephant's back side. And what did he do? Honk! He honked his horn. Didn't faze the elephant at all. Instead, the elephant promptly sat right there on the edge of the cousin's Cadillac. Insurance papers were filled out at the office. Luckily, all that was really damaged was a little bit of bent metal and a broken headlight. They had a 7-hour trip to make with one headlight, and darkness was coming soon. Off they go, up I-30, finally getting up to the interstate of I-35, crossing over into the Iowa border. It's dark, and what should happen? You got it. Woo, 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 woo! The sirens are going, the lights are flashing. They were being pulled over by the Iowa Highway Patrol. License and registration, says the police officer. Warren hands him his license and says, officer, well, here's my license, but sir, this isn't my car. For you see, this is my wife's cousin's car, and well, an elephant sat on it. With that, of course, he's pulled straight out of the car as fast as the officer can get him out, ran through all the sobriety tests possible to see and make sure he wasn't doing a little, drinking on the side. In the meantime, poor Patty is going through the glove compartment very rapidly, trying to find the paperwork and the registration, finally finding it, saying, officer, I finally found the paperwork. Here it is, sir. See, we were telling the truth. With that, the officer looks at the paperwork, starts to laugh. He laughs so hard he bends over, chuckling, shaking so hard that his hat falls off and a semi runs over it. Well, the officer lets them go. Patty decides to drive home. They decide to stop. As they're going home, Patty is driving, Warren's in the back seat asleep. They decide to stop at a truck stop, rest stop, to go to the bathroom. Warren is sound asleep, so Patty doesn't wake him up. She goes into the restroom. Warren decides, hey, maybe I need to go too. So he goes into the use of the facilities. At the same time he's going in, Patty is coming out. Well, they didn't see each other because it was dark. She gets in the car, looks in the rearview mirror, sees a blanket, thinks, oh, it's okay, I can go. And off she goes at the same time that Warren is coming out of the bathroom. He's yelling, Patty, wait for me, at the same time that the same officer, comes up and says, it must be a full moon, for he sees Warren yelling. Then he realizes who it is, and he gives Warren a ride, says, hey, I'll take you to Osceola. They pass Patty on the interstate, not realizing it, nor does she. The officer drops Warren off at the cousin's house. Patty pulls in to the driveway of her cousin's yard. Warren comes out and says, hi, honey, and bless Patty's heart. Instead of putting on the brake, she hits the gas, goes right through her cousin's garage door. Envision yourself in my friend's place. Would you ever trust your cousin again? Well, in fact, it actually made a very good relationship between them. However, that poor insurance adjuster, oh my. That, my friends, is a story for another time, and definitely one with the ultimate roadblock. Mr. Contest Chair.
Madam Timer, please time 1 minute of silence for our judges, please.
One minute.
Thank you, Madam Timer. Contestant number 2, Coy Ortega. Please turn on your microphone and speak or in camera and let us know that you are ready.
right, I'm ready.
All right. Contestant number 2, Coy Ortega. Easy, huh? Easy, huh? Coy Ortega.
You young whippersnappers, you have it so easy these days. Oh, really? Fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, Mr. Contest Chair. If I had a nickel for every time I've heard that comment, I would have, well, very heavy pockets that might not actually be worth its weight. While the cliche is most certainly true in some cases, I would not say that growing up these days is a walk in the park and closer to rocket science than some might think. Let's first talk about everyone's favorite topic. It affects both youngsters and old-timers alike. This abomination, joy, was advertised as something to be used in every moment of our lives. But parents hate it when their children bring it home from school. I am talking about mathematics. Now imagine, if you will, a student in the mid to late 20th century is taking a math test. For reasons unknown, they sniff the piece of paper. You've entered the Twilight Zone. Chances are, if there was multiplication on that math test, you would have done it something like this. Large number over large number, do the smaller multiplication, then you add. Simple, easy. But someone looked at it and said, no, that is too easy, too simple. And they came up with this, with neat and tidy lines and dots for counting and sometimes addition. This looks like a board game that my parents always kick my butt in, like chess or Stratego. Imagine bringing that to the ultimate source of knowledge and authority, the guru of problem solving, the fighter of those monsters under your bed, and when you get older, the masters of coin. And they teach you the old way while you're learning the new way. No wonder parents post on Facebook complaining about this thing called new math, probably while they're banging their heads on their table. That brings me to my second topic, which is social media. It again affects both youngins and those who have traveled around the block alike. It's a great place to converse, debate, share family photos, and more importantly, picture your cute kitten or puppy. When you're not in Facebook jail, that is. You can even buy and sell things that you think you can change the world with, but end up in the back of your overflowing closet. So how does this make the lives of children harder? Well, first, we have to remember the passwords. My generation barely has enough attention span to last a single song on the playlist, let alone multiple passwords. God help us if we lose our phone or we get a new one. Secondly, there is so much gunk in social media these days that it gets in the way of its true purpose, which is communication. Lastly, there is the very sad problem of cyberbullying. In the good old days of rock and roll, hairspray, and muscle cars, you could settle disputes with a good old-fashioned fist fight until when the adults stopped you. It would even seem like half the school goes after you say, behind the school. After school, behind the gym. Because everyone loves a good rumble! But social media is what causes these things. But without technology, social media wouldn't even exist. These days, we have cell phones, so I don't have to reach into my nickel collection looking for dimes to operate a payphone. Secondly, we have GPS, because my generation doesn't know how to use or ask for directions when they get lost. And lastly, we have the internet, because who knows how to use a printed dictionary anymore? But every cell phone these days comes with a camera. Gone are the days of waiting for a film store to call you, letting you know your film is ready, hopefully after you take care of any witnesses and evidence. We can't get away with anything these days anymore. I've heard the fun of mailbox baseball, watching your rival school's prize athletic sign burn down to the ground, and something about a theft of gas station decorations. But if we did anything worth doing, some fool or something with a camera would take a video of us and we would get in trouble. In the days of Rick Springfield, John Bon Jovi, Elvis Presley, I wouldn't have to think about these things. Discrimination based on age, called ageism, is rightly focused on those older than discriminators. But like you know what, it can easily go downhill. We need to stop saying things like you have it so easy, and the newest one, okay boomer. Because as Diane Lang and the Outsiders say, it is rough all over, meaning that each demographic has its own challenges that need to be overcome. Now, thank you all for your time. I would put in my 2 cents if I can find pennies in my pockets full of nickels. Mr. Contest Chair.
Madam Timer, please time 1 minute of silence for our judges.
One minute.
Thank you, Madam Timer. Jeff Hanna, contestant number 3. Please unmute and turn on your camera and let us know that you are ready.
Stand by. Ready.
Jeff Hanna, contestant number 3. The seasons of life according to my wife. The seasons of life according to my wife, Jeff Hanna.
If I were to use the phrase, the 4 seasons, what would come to mind? If you're a little older, you might think of that 60s group led by Frankie Valli. And if you're younger, you might think of the 4 seasons that you learned about in school: spring, summer, fall, winter. But I'm here to enlighten you on the seasons of life according to my wife. It all starts in January when my wife gives me that look, and I know what that means. And so I head up the ladder into the top of the garage, and I pull down a tub and I bring it inside. And before you know it, we are celebrating snowman season. Yes, and out of that tub come all kinds of snowmen. Big snowmen, little snowmen, wooden snowmen, cloth snowmen. That doesn't even look like a snowman. And of course, the job isn't done until we hang the shower curtain that looks like a snowman. Well, then we move on to Valentine's season, and she sends me up the ladder again, and I pull out the tub, and she starts taking out hearts and cherubs and red things. This year, we even have a COVID Valentine's mask. We're going to put that in the tub. Hopefully, we're not going to have to use that next year. And yes, folks, we do have a Valentine's shower curtain. And then a wonderful season comes upon us. It's March 17th, actually, and it's St. Patrick's Day, and we have leprechauns in the tub, and shamrocks come out, and these wonderful little headgears to make you feel festive. And indeed, we do have a shower curtain for St. Patrick's Day. And then an odd thing happens. A season comes upon us that doesn't even have its own date. It can be anywhere from March 22nd to April 25th. It's Easter season. And there I go again, up the ladder, down the ladder, bring in the tub, because we bring out the baskets and the bunnies and these cheap plastic eggs with fake grass in it that you find around the house for the next month or two. And we have an Easter shower curtain. Then an unexplainable thing happens. It's called spring. You learned about it in school. Our spring goes through April, May, and even into June, and nothing really happens until late June. And then she sends me up the ladder again, bring down the next tub, because we are going to celebrate Independence or 4th of July season. And she pulls out all kinds of red, white, and blue things, flags, and don't forget your plates for the picnic that you're going to have. And to my knowledge, there is no shower curtain for Independence Day yet. Well, then, as if she gets tired of decorating, not much happens, and we spend the rest of the summer kind of quiet. But then, like a sleeping giant or a slumbering bear, she comes to life again. And she sends me up the ladder, and it's pull out the tub, and then all we see is acorns and leaves, and oh, who can't do without these wonderful little fall towels? We also have a fall shower curtain. But fall, instead of going into September, October, and maybe November, comes to an abrupt stop. She sends me up the ladder and says, get that black and orange tub. And you can imagine what that is. It's Halloween season. And we open it up, and before you know it, there's ghosts and goblins and black cats and scary things like this. It doesn't even look scary. And we even have a glow-in-the-dark shower curtain. You want to wake up in the middle of the night and come into that, that'll give you a surprise. And then, as if she drank a case of 5-hour energy drink, she tells me to head back up the ladder again. And I pull down several tubs, and inside are things like cornucopias and pumpkins and things that are supposed to look like a turkey. Does that look like a turkey to you? No, it does not. And we indeed have a Thanksgiving curtain. And then the coup de grace of all seasons is upon us. And with my back brace firmly in place, she sends me up the ladder because we are upon Christmas season. And I'm pulling down boxes and tubs and all kinds of things that's filled with Santas and nativities and lights and trees, and a dumb little thing like this. It's an oven mitt that's made to look like a Santa. You can't even use it as an oven mitt because you'll mess it up. Who thinks of these things anyway? And then after the seasons are all over, I sit down in my easy chair and I make some observations. First off, embrace change. Let's be honest, guys. If it were up to us, we wouldn't change the decor in our house ever. Secondly, you too can enjoy the Pinterest, Etsy creative side of yourself. get yourself a tub and maybe get a big mouth Billy Bass singing wall plaque and a camouflage shower curtain and start your own season. And finally, when that season of life is over, when your wife is gone, you'll miss heading up that ladder and the joy that's on her face. And I, for one, will never forget the unforgettable seasonal shower curtains. Mr. Contest Chair.
Madam Timer, please time 1 minute of silence for our judges, please.
One minute.
Thank you, Madam Timer. Sue Smith, contestant number 4. Please turn on your video and microphone and let us know you are ready.
I am ready, Matthew. Am I looking for timer number 1 or timer number 2?
Timer number 2 will display the timing colors.
All right. I'm trying to find her. I'm sorry, I am not seeing her. Hang on just one moment, please.
Yeah, she just came off of video, so she's waving at you, so you should be able to see her.
Thank you
face.
so much. Okay,
All right.
I've got her.
All right.
I am ready.
Thank you, timer. Contestant number 4, Sue Smith. I met Jesus on a bicycle. I met Jesus on a bicycle, Sue Smith.
Fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, and of course, Mr. Contest Chair. It's 1998, it's July. I am on my bicycle headed up the first hill of my first RAGBRAI. I'm 47 years old. In front of me is a man shaped like a wedge of Parmesan cheese, sitting atop a racing bike that I swear is not any thicker than a pencil. He's jiggling back and forth. He can't shift his gears and he's slowing down. Now, I am not in the best of shape. I can't afford to slow down on this hill. So I need to figure out how to get around him. I look to the left. Oh, it's 20-somethings going who knows how fast. To my right is an elderly couple on a tandem gliding by me, and I think, okay, that's my lane. I pull to the right and I pedal as fast as I can. But wouldn't you know it, just as I get up next to Mr. Parmesan Man, he falls. And when he does, he punts me and my bicycle into the ditch. I gotta tell you, this RAGBRAI thing is not going well. But you know what? My life is not going well. For the last year, I have been in a rut that seems to get bigger and deeper. No matter what I do, everything that comes in my direction is fertilizer. It all started last year when my husband of 25 years left me for another woman. The very next month, wouldn't you just know it, a man breaks into my house in the middle of night. And I didn't even know he was there, except Daisy started barking at 2:30 in the morning. Daisy is my dog. And the very next month, Daisy breaks her leg and needs 3, count them, 3 dog surgeries. Do I have money for 3 dog surgeries? No. But you can't put your dog to sleep because she's got a broken leg. And you sure can't put her to sleep right after she saved your life. Who would do that? Next was December and Christmas, and I'm going to leave that to your imagination. When January came, my oldest daughter, Sarah, sat me down and said, "Mom, I think we need something to look forward to." I said, "What do you have in mind?" And she said, "I think we should go on RAGBRAI. You know, we might have one of those RAGBRAI moments that everybody talks about where something really fantastic happens that would never happen to you in any other part of your life." I'm a little nervous about this because things are not going well. And RAGBRAI is 450 miles across the state of Iowa on a short run. And I haven't been on a bike in 20 years. But what else could happen? So sure, let's go. We get there our first night, set up our tent, and head out to find a shower because it's 95 degrees and humid everywhere. We get to the showers, and it is 2 big rooms. The first one has 10 shower spigots in the ceiling, and there's 10 women showering. Closest to us, there's another big room with at least 40, maybe 50 women standing in line, and they are all naked. Soap, shampoo, nothing else. Now, I may be a prude, but I do not appreciate being naked in front of people I don't know. I don't even like being naked in front of people I do know. But I do really want a shower, so I get in line. You figure out pretty quickly when you're hanging out with naked people that if you're going to talk to them, you better look them in the eye. Anything else would be rude. It's too complicated for me. I just decide to stand there and watch the 10 women who are showering, just like everybody else. When it gets to be my turn, about an hour and a half later, I, of course, get the first spigot inside the door. So I have the unmitigated pleasure of knowing that there are at least 100 eyeballs on me at any given moment. When I finish my shower, I am mad. I am not staying. This is not my idea of a good time. I had no idea this was going to happen. But I can't leave. I promised Sarah, which is how I ended up this morning on my back in a ditch with my bicycle on top of me. As I lay in the ditch, doing a survey of my body, I don't feel anything painful. And I hear a voice that says, "Take my hand." Above me is the most drop-dead gorgeous man I have ever seen in my whole life, in my soon-to-be single life. Crap! I'm dead. I died in this stupid ditch. That's why nothing hurts. That's why Jesus is here to take me to heaven. I don't want to be dead. It's too soon. But if you don't have a choice, it's not a bad way to go. Jesus helps me out of the ditch, pulls up my bike, and he flips it over and starts fiddling with the wheels and the gears. And I look around and realize I am not in heaven, it's RAGBRAI. When he finishes, he hands me my bike. And I thank him profusely for helping me. And he looks me in the eyes and he says, "You're going to be fine." I get on my bike and head up the hill. And I have to tell you, the first thing I notice is that I feel lighter. It's easier. I feel hope. And I haven't felt hope in at least a year. I had a RAGBRAI moment. Jesus himself came down from heaven, picked me out of my rut, put me on the path, and I am going to be fine. He said so. Nobody's going to believe that. I'm not sure I believe that. But I believe this. And now I just have to get through 5, count them, 5 more of those showers. And then I'll be good. Mr. Contest Chair.
Madam Timer, please time 1 minute of silence for our judges.
One minute.
Thank you, Madam Timer. If you're watching the clock, you notice we're a little past our 9 o'clock stopping time, but we did start a few minutes late, so I appreciate everyone being patient. At this time, our chief judge and the ballot counters will collect and go tally the votes. If I could have our contestants, I'll unmute yourselves and turn your video on. We'll do a quick interviews. Going to start in the order of contestants speaking, starting with Laura Crowfoot. Laura, please tell us what club you're representing this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Contest Chair. I am representing Top of the Morning out of Sioux City, Iowa.
And how long have you been a member of Top of the Morning?
I have been a member, of Top of the Morning. Oh, dear. That's a tricky question because you got me, Matthew. I belong to 2 clubs. I believe I've been in Top of the Morning a little over 2 years.
All right. Our contest theme is level up. Tell us one area of your life in which you'd like to level up or have leveled up recently.
Wow, that's a big question because the last 2 weeks, Mr. Contest Chair, have been a big whirlwind where I and my husband had to both level up. We've had some changes in our family dynamics, and our neighbor bought our house without putting it on the market. So everything's a whirlwind. I'm thinking of retiring early. I haven't made that decision yet. We are not going to live in the Sioux City area after I retire. So we are going to be living in a whirlwind or a RV fifth wheel. When you say level up, I'm immediately thinking of how am I going to level that fifth wheeler? My husband's going to have to push all the buttons. I can't. Well, I could if I had to. I'd have to level myself up to be a stronger person, but I am really, really looking forward to being a retiree and not working and being relaxed. That is my new level.
Oh, thank you, Laura. And I know that those RVs have leveling jacks to help keep you nice and level on uneven ground. So enjoy that. Thank you for your participation this evening. Contestant number 2, Coy Ortega. What club are you representing this evening?
I am representing Heritage 1205 from Cedar Rapids.
All right. And how long have you been a member?
Since 2018. So, what, 2-3 years?
Awesome. You have a fun quote on your profile. I'm not going to read. I'm going to ask you to tell us your quote from George S. Patton.
So, when it's something specific like that, I always mess it up. So I will give the gist. But it's basically a violently executed plan executed now is better than the perfect plan next week. And so I take that to heart, especially I'm in college right now. I'm going to be a senior in the fall at the University of Iowa. But after college, I want to join the Navy as a naval officer. But I have a lot of things I need to do before then. And so I'm trying to execute my violent plan now, getting those things done instead of waiting for a perfect time that may never come. Before college, I actually wanted to attend the Naval Academy in Annapolis, Maryland. And I did do the latter. I waited for the perfect time and I did not make it. So because of several things. So now I'm like I said, I'm doing the violent plan now so I can get things all settled and hopefully reach my goal.
Well, I wish you well in that pursuit and executing that plan, and thank you for your participation this evening. Contestant number 3, Jeff Hanna. What club are you representing this evening?
I am from Club 4477 in Ankeny, Iowa.
All right, and how long have you been a member there?
1.5 years, 18 months.
18 months. You also have a fun quote on your profile. And would you like me to read it, or will you be able to tell it for us?
Yeah, I have a couple, and I'm trying to remember. Refresh my memory, if you would.
All right. Your quote was, "Humor is a prelude to faith, and laughter the beginning of prayer."
Yes, I have been a pastor for a long, long time and just retired. So retirement is good, Laura. I will tell you that. And I am a police chaplain and working with police officers. And it has been amazing to me. And I use that as an illustration. Without humor, without laughter, none of those things would be easily carried. They'd be a heavy burden. Many of the things I am engaged in with the police department and the police officers I work with are very heavy, very difficult. And I found that through the pain and the difficulty of life, some of which I personally have experienced myself, the sooner I can get to laughing at myself, realizing I'm not in control, that I need to surrender and I need to improvise and I need to do the next thing. And that usually includes laughter that gets me to a much better place a lot quicker.
That is awesome. I love that idea. So thank you for sharing that, and thank you for your participation this evening. Contestant number 4, Sue Smith. Please tell us what club you're representing this evening.
I am representing 1443 Crossroads Storytellers in North Liberty, Iowa.
North Liberty. How long have you been a member of Crossroads Storytellers?
2 years.
A lot of relatively short tenures in these clubs. That's awesome to see you all competing. Your favorite quote that you put down was one that made me laugh. Can you share it with us, please?
It is from Cyndi Lauper. Do not take yourself too seriously. You could die of starch.
And what does that mean for you?
Well, I just think that when you start getting too serious and thinking too hard, you can just get sort of calcified, if you would. You need to go out and, kind of what Jeff was talking about, you need to go out and have some laughs, loosen up. You're not in control of everything anyway, and some of it really is pretty funny. So, it just, everything will work better. You'll be able to think more clearly if you don't take it all quite so seriously, or at least take every opportunity that you have to laugh at what's happening to you, because it is pretty funny usually.
I love it. If you can't laugh at it, why you gotta have someone laughing at you for it, right?
Yep.
Well, thank you for sharing that and for your participation. Thank you all contestants this evening. You can go ahead and mute yourselves and turn off your videos. Since we are already a little late, we're going to try and keep things get things back on track here. I know that we have some dignitaries in the audience, and I would just want to say thank you for all the dignitaries that are present, district leadership, area directors, past directors, anyone else that I may have not recognized, but thank you all for your leadership to our district. The contest results will be announced at the awards and closing remarks session tomorrow evening at 6:30 p.m. So you'll have to endure a while longer to find out who takes the title of District 19's Best Humorous Speaker for 2021. I encourage you to join us tomorrow afternoon for the International Speech Contest at 3:30 p.m. The winner of that contest will move one step closer to possibly being crowned the world champion of public speaking for 2021. I want to thank everyone for making this evening a success. Especially want to thank the contestants for giving a great effort to this evening. If everyone could please unmute and turn on your cameras to join me in giving them a round of applause, please. All right, thank you, y'all. You can turn off your videos and mute yourselves again. There are some important people I'd like to thank without whom this contest couldn't have taken place. I'm not going to list the names, but please feel free to turn on your cameras and be recognized as I go through the roles. All of our functionaries, which include our chief judge, Zoom master, the judges who will remain anonymous, ballot counters, and the timers. I applaud all of you and thank you again for your support this evening. Are there any other comments or questions? If not, stay safe and stay sane, and we are adjourned. Back to our conference voice.
Thank you, Matthew. Great job. What a contest that was.